Yes. Well, a laser might want to push the aggression again. I guess Denver didn't really want to. Because I do think it's the Zerg kind of that says like, okay, go. I'm gonna get the early. I'm gonna get the pool. I'm gonna get a lot of lings.
The known meme, of course, is that a laser can only all in. So maybe we'll see that happen. Either way, we have the dedicated 2v2 team up here to the top side. It's going to be the yellow Protoss Larry and his ally PracticeX.
In the bottom position, as the blue Protoss, it is Harstem, and the teal Zerg, Elazer.
Good guy Larry giving a quick shout out to Brian. Some of you guys might not understand who that is, but to give him his time to shine for a moment, Brian is the guy who helped make all this happen. This is kind of a cool trick only 2v2 players would know. If you share control, you can actually mine out of each other's gas geysers. This is a trick Zerg players would use because it was a little bit cheaper and faster to get those up and running, but PracticeX helping Larry get a bit of a gas boost early on. That's kind of cool to see. There's specific 2v2 tactics. But anyways, Brian, BChin22, if you guys aren't following him on Twitter and Instagram, go check him out. His only message for the tournament wasn't like sponsorship related, it wasn't advertising, it was just simply, if you're considering getting a pet, please seriously consider getting a pet through pet adoption or rescuing a pet. I rescued Millie. I know Zombie Up's had a fair share for a cat. Have you guys actually bought a cat from a breeder, or has it always been a rescue or adoption?
It's always adopted, or we found one on the streets.
Oh. It's a good way to save a kitty or a dog or whatever the pet you desire is, guys, so consider it. Anyways, big thank you to Brian for helping put this tournament together. But yeah, kind of cool to see the geyser trick. I'm not sure how many other cool tactics they've got to show off. But Larry in the past had some pretty cool 2v2 tactics set up where, you know, if they were cannon rushing, you'd have the Terran player engineering bay block in combination with the forge and the cannons, and just lots of little subtle things that I know he's got tricks up his sleeves for, but all are going to be very difficult to pull off against Harstem and Elazer. Also, yo, we missed Glaburp for the 26-month resub, and Diesel Max Power just donated 20 bucks. That is like 200% of our goal. No, that's probably 2,000% of our goal. I don't know. Because Dead Game, MCAN Toxic, MCAN Toxic, MCAN Toxic, MCAN Toxic. Thank you for the 20 bucks for this Dead Game, dude.
Dear Lord. Thank you very much. The... Likes, it's how I get kids. Either adopt them or find them on the streets. Good way to get kids.
Practice safe sex, guys.
So, I was also going to mention just, like, really quickly that the gas cutter thing also could have been, like, you don't actually get the trade minerals until 3 minutes into the game? Is that what it was?
3 or 5. I don't remember which the benchmark is.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if I'm remembering the old one, too, so... Maybe the old one was 5. Anyway, the point is, I mean, like, there is that limitation, but not many people are playing that strongly to a strategy that involves trading minerals. I wish it were, but like we're not getting that extreme of 2v2 strategies. Yeah,
the one time we really saw that was back in the day with Lily Canine and Donna, just like straight up feeding a Zerg player to go all in. But that kind of goes back to Elazer for a moment here, speaking of all-ins, but he's not. He's actually going for like a 3rd base right now, and he's going to be the gold, and he's taken a lot of drones so far, not cutting anything yet. But as speed finishes up, we may see that change.
Harstem already losing out in the Phoenix War. Either is going to have to just give up on Phoenixes, which it looks like that is his plan, or is going to have to ask Elazer to back him up, either give him minerals and gas, or distract, or I don't even know how, really, because Elazer's not going to be able to kill Phoenixes until he gets the Hydras. So, Larry just simply won the Phoenix War, and that is really rough, I want to say. I mean, Phoenixes, they're not going to be able to hold, perhaps, against a more sizable Blink Stalker count, but considering how this game is going in a macro, the Phoenix is just controlling the map, the harassment, any type of drops or scouting. They're very, very useful if you've got your partner covering you, in which case PracticeX is the partner. Going for Cyclones.
It's also really interesting that Larry is investing in upgrades for the Phoenix. When it comes down to Phoenix versus Phoenix, this typically doesn't matter because the game rarely goes late enough for you to have +3, but it will help out against other things. Like if you're lifting up a queen, it's a little bit of extra damage.
This is really already a disaster because a PvP happened and the Phoenixes lost for one player as opposed to the other. Like, this game is already snowballed into Larry and Practice's favor. It's not winning. Queens are coming forward, and eventually you're going to have a Hydra and Stalkers and whatever.
Oh, hello? Did we just lose Zombie Grub?
A little bit.
Oh, okay. Welcome back. Sounds like you're getting FCC'd already.
Man, I don't know, because this happened like a week ago last time I cast on here, and yesterday it happened for like 20 minutes and then stopped. It's so random, because at least, you know, if it was like already always at 10:30, I could avoid it.
Well, the weirdest thing was when the mic changed which mic it was using. Made me start thinking maybe there's a hardware thing instead of a software thing.
I think that really was just me changing the webcam, because Discord is on default instead of on Blue Icicle. So I can't explain why your stuff also broke, but
I'm gonna say it's because your stuff broke. Cause and effect, man.
Okay.
This is supply blocking Elazer in a very frustrating way. Very difficult to replace this. Very expensive to put all those overlords back up. And meanwhile, keep in mind, this has all been Larry. PracticeX has lost nothing because he's done nothing. Not in a negative way, but he's just not had to fight. He's been sitting at home, macroing up. He's been helping his buddy, you know, from getting that gas to opening the rocks on the backside. In fact, he gave him the base that he opened up, and he just expanded here, waiting to take it later.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Harstem is going to have that option later on, and it looks like they finally have dealt with the Phoenix harassment with enough stalkers, and Hydra's on the way.
Still, though, for Larry, this did a very intriguing amount of damage. As we can see here, the macro and I think the muscle memory of just being pro players is carrying hard for our team to the south. Because they're recovering, and they're actually, if you look at the economy and the army supply, not doing too bad compared to the other team. It just looks really bad because the Phoenix have been the ones making all the moves this game.
Yeah, when you consider what Larry had to give up, I suppose, to do two gate Phoenix off of one base, he's like Harstem's already caught up in the probes. Useless Phoenix is useless.
I like the bro missile turret coming down too. Like seriously, PracticeX has got Larry's back, man.
Yeah. But this is going to come down to, like, it is Larry's early game harassment you're going to outpower, because Harstem's already up in workers, already matching, like, he's going to get Archons included as well, some feedbacks. These Phoenixes are eventually going to be countered, but they're going to be kings of harassment for forever, actually. There's just not much you can do. No amount of spore crawlers or cannons is going to stop your units from dying, but maybe if you push, you could win the push.
Well, Phoenix are dangerous, and as we said for a full year when we did 2v2 tournaments, these were king in the matchup, and frankly, they haven't been touched as far as balance goes over the last... God, I don't even know the last time they touched Phoenix for anything, so they're still going to be very powerful. There's no doubt about it, but we're seeing the Stalkers deal with this a little bit better than they ever would have in the past. That burst damage is certainly there. But man, this snowball number is kind of crazy. Sure, the worker count was cut early, but I think between the gold base allowing him to have less workers and this third base finishing up soon, like, Larry's just going to be able to pump so many Phoenix.
I am also looking at what PracticeX is doing, because while Harstem has kind of lost this PvP and Elazer kind of has to bring, like, he's kind of carrying him to a certain degree, Elazer, I believe, really can. Is PracticeX matching up to Elazer, or is Elazer outpacing everyone, having been mostly untouched and being the best player in this group? I mean, Harstem's really good in his own right, but Elazer is just kind of transcended since his multiple BlizzCon attendances.
Oh. Gotta be careful at moments like this.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Sandwiched between 2 points?
Yeah, that is actually really nice positioning. But unfortunately, Hydras don't have links, so the Stalkers try to run back to the Hydras, they get all picked up.
Only a couple Phoenix actually go down through this. Cyclone's not here to back this up. If Elazer wants to take a fight, I'd say he's got a pretty good one to take, but of course the problem is those Phoenix are going to crowd control half the Hydras.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you know, especially with Larry finally going into carriers, something that's sturdier than Phoenix is, I am thinking he's just given his team too great of a lead. But Elazer's a real question mark, man. Like, he is finally on a good, stable economy, and now he's just pumping units, as many Hydras as possible. And only a handful of Lings could accompany him to also help with the tanks, and not disregarding Praxis, who is building a mech army. But a Elazer 200 push could still be scary to Larry and Praxis, who are combined at 200 supply.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point, and that goes back to a little bit of the macro talk from earlier, but man, I don't know. It's going to be so hard to actually break siege tanks. Like, even if you got that supply count.
We're going to witness. It's not quite 200 supply for a Elazer yet, but the Hydras do take out the... There's not that many Hellbats to begin with, and this is a huge concave. He's kind of losing it.
lifting the Hydras. He kills them with a Phoenix, but saves them from the tanks. I don't know. This is a pretty good fight for our top team, though, considering what the supplies were looking like. Harstem, I hate to say it, didn't really feel like he contributed much to this. Those stalkers were not very effective.
I would not be surprised if Harstem told Elazer he couldn't help. He'd just be like, I can't do anything. And Elazer's like, nah, you know, I think I can still do something here. And he certainly has. He finally tank out. So that gold base should be lifted, but Elaser's gonna try and go for the throat while the energy's still low on the Phoenix, while the tank count's still low. Has to back up, unfortunately, but really should be lifting this base.
Well, with the carriers finally out, things get a little bit more daunting for our southern team, but there's so many Hydras, and there's a couple Archons in the mix too, that only 2 carriers, they're not going to cut it.
No, they're covered by 1 high ground and 2 tanks, but it's still a very low number, so it really is more positioning that's going to save them for a little while longer, but long enough? Questionable. Harstem's also finally contributing a little bit here with a couple of Archons, which I think are the best thing. That's the best thing you can do. They're cheap in regards to minerals. If
they take the hits from the tanks so the Hydras don't have to, worth, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. They get 1 shot on the Phoenixes that are clumped up. Pretty worth.
Oh, and here we go. We got a warp in from Harstem to the top side. Took a while to get here, but he's got some Zealots. He's got a couple of Stalkers. They go to break that front line. Bailey scratch into the Hylbats. They go down almost immediately. A couple of tanks are spread out really nice, so I don't know if the Hydras can push through. They dive for the carriers, but the carriers are pulled back, and this drives them right through the middle of a tank line.
He is running out of lings, which are going on top of the tanks, but they did their job. They took out the tanks on the low ground. Now the high ground is taken by a laser, so the carriers aren't safe. The carriers are interceptors.
Yeah, he's actually lost his attack force here. Meanwhile, Harstem's ran havoc, and he's still I don't know how that Warp Prism wasn't cleaned up. There were Phoenix past tense, a couple of them still here. He's not going in to pick off that Warp Prism, meaning Harstem's still warping in. Elazer in the front line's proven to be a problem. Larry doesn't know where to go. These Phoenix have paced back and forth between the main and the naturals. Just kind of like, what do we do?
Well, even though I had this, you know, I was talking with the supplies and I was formulating this idea that Elazer could win, I didn't really expect it to happen, but it seems that it has.
Yep.
Larry is desperately trying to get to enough carriers to just be like, you actually can't touch me without a Spire, but not able to do so is now losing his economy, so won't be able to build interceptors for all of those carriers.
Larry went carriers, but Elazer was the carrier.
He really was. And it's not so much that Larry didn't cover Elazer. They had to have acknowledged that the Zerg wasn't being touched. It's that PracticeX didn't cover Larry, in my opinion. Like, for how much he was supposed to be greedy, he didn't have as much as you would think, or maybe they just got too greedy at the exact right moment trying to reach towards that gold.
Well, it's 1-0 for the pros. See if the 2v2 team can bring it back here for game 2. This is double elimination. It's 5 best-of-3s as we stated earlier, guys. The winner of this will move on to fight against Optimus, and Euthermal. Wait, was that right? Who won the last series? I've already forgotten.
Oh my god,
Denver
right.
and Clem. Denver and Clem. Excuse me. Because the French, right, the French won. So the winner of this series will go on to fight against Denver and Clem. The loser will fight against Euthermal and Optimus. And of course, one of those teams will be eliminated. One of those teams will move on out of the groups and into the semifinals. And the money for this tournament pays the top 4 teams, aka the top 8 players. So to get into the prize money for this tournament, you have to escape the group. You have to be one of the 2 teams that get out of this 4-man group. Or 4-team group in this instance, excuse me.
There you go. Well, next one's gonna be Trader's Exile. Maybe some of you are recognizing the maps based off names now.
I don't. I'm just like, it's another map. I'll recognize it once we see the mini map for it. And I know, hey Rifkin, what about the preview? But the preview's been like bugged out the last 2 days. It's always a spinning circle for me. Although not this time, actually, just loaded.
There you go.
Quick peek for you guys. Trader's Exile. Well, we'll just kind of chill on the in-game scene, I guess, for a sec while we load everybody in here. Wait for everybody to ready up. Yeah, I know 2v2s are quite different from our regular repertoire, and make no mistake, guys, our focus is still on 1v1 StarCraft 2, but I don't know. It's almost like a frustration that we have to defend the fact that we're doing this at all, because the reality is, like, we could kind of do whatever we want. If, like, suddenly tomorrow we didn't want to do tournaments, we wanted to do, like, ladder sessions, we could. I mean, it's just enjoy what content we produce, man.
It is weird to have people coming in and asking for, I guess, should I put them in myself in their shoes? And it's like, I guess it is just like, StarCraft 2 is pretty elitist, you know, there's not just random ARAMs, I suppose.
Yeah,
there's no equivalent League of Legends. I don't know, but I would figure that they're expecting some type of difference. I mean, there's also Archon mode that we did in the past, and well, 2v2s have happened in the past too.
Well, folks, we're in game number 2. To the bottom right side, we've got the combination of the blue Zerg Elazer and the purple Protoss Harstem.
The top left is the red Terran is PracticeX. And the yellow Protoss Larry.
And they are up to no good. Or they're just really scared and scouting. But with the SCV out here, I'm wondering if this will be a proxy of some kind. I bring this up because Larry's being very suspicious with his probe movement. And it is, in fact, a Forge coming down at home. Is this a full block? Get out of here. No way.
What? Whoa.
Let's take this. Whoa. Let's take this back to when we play next time against Maynard and Pig. I love the spray to this too, by the way. So the engineering play, it's gonna be a big distraction because nobody's looking over this way, and Harstem's gonna get cannoned real bad. Starts on the low ground so you can protect the cannons you put up on the high ground.
Oh, I can't believe it's cannons, but it is. Now, to Harstem's credit, he immediately recognizes what's going on. And pools, but I think that they are quite tickled by this circumstance. This is one of the power moves that happens when we talk about those 2v2 pros, you know? Like, we don't get to talk about it very often, I would say. You know, the no mineral trading, as we've seen, like, for months now. Barely any superior strategies that exist. You saw even last game, their husband leads to 1. But this is one of those times where, because they do 2v2, they would know this.
Oh man, I'm loving some of the specialty we're seeing come out of this. By the way, the engineering block, I love that he didn't actually finish this so that he can cancel it.
Yeah, or he could finish it if he deemed it really quite useful. But Elazer gave up on attacking it pretty quickly and just goes into a Roach Warren. There's not much else he could do. I mean, he could have like lifted a drone, I suppose, and waited it out. But oh my god, well. This is so clever.
Back to the topic of mineral sharing. Elazer's gonna have to float Harstem about $70 so Harstem can build a Nexus. Meanwhile, there is a Zealot across the map and no defense for Larry, and that's gonna be a little bit awkward. He'll lose some probes trying to clean up this one Zealot.
The Zealot does try and get into a good position. Oh, he's not. There we go. A little bit. But eventually a Zealot would be cleaned up. If it was an Adept, maybe not.
Well, this is going to completely eradicate Harstem's base. Cannons are set up to do just that, so time for recovery's gone. He's actually pulled all the probes to go across the map. If Larry just walls off, this is a non-issue. But yeah, the probes are coming for a fight, Zombie Grove. And he's got more of them. If
Harstem takes out Larry, then Elazer will win against PracticeX, even if Larry eventually came back, I think. But
I think Harstem's just accepted how this got, but the Stalker coming across the map actually adds a pretty big dynamic to this. The probes fighting against the probes. A couple Marines here for damage. I don't know that I ever see situations like this in StarCraft 2 happening again, but this is pretty grody.
Eventually his probes will die, but Elazer, didn't even notice, had built Ravagers not just to break the ramp, but also to accompany him. So this is going to be the death of Larry. Until Practice gives him money, that is.
Yeah, because see, the Banshee should be able to save this overall.
Yes, yeah. Larry's never going to be quite out of it like Harstem is. I think it'd be much smarter for Elazer to be like, okay, you're dead, like, give me your money. But not the same for Practice and Larry. This will at least tell him there's a Banshee so he can build defenses at home, but he will.
Oh, the bunker goes down. But yeah, that Banshee should be enough, more than enough, I'd say, to clean up the Ravagers. Bunker loads up 2, goes down immediately, doesn't matter, tank set up. Elazer's attack is put on hold, and it is 1.5 versus 1.
That's game, I'm pretty sure. I mean, Elazer backed off, I think, to a natural, which he never took. I'd be like, oh, well, let's see what a macro game looks like. But committed, never took a base. continuing to commit. There's no way he deals with the Banshee. I'm very surprised he's still in this game. Soccer though. If it recharged shields.
Hey, let's go ahead and restart this call real quick. You're constantly going like robot-y at the end of sentences. I'm not sure why. Good old tech problems. Hootenanny. Anyways, hopefully that fixes it. Banshee's out with cloak now. Beforehand, it was a little bit scary because there was no cloak. But not even the stalker can't deal with this. Cannon's also been set up back at home too. So yeah, I think it's, at this point, whether Larry's just feeding PracticeX money or they're sharing control, like, they gotta go now and not let Elazer get a natural. But Elazer's maybe not looking for a natural, get a 1 basic, goes to a hatchery, into a lair.
Okay, maybe for a Spire?
I'm guessing. That's gotta be the only option. No, it's a Nidus
Well,
Worm.
okay, he brings Queens of the Nidus Worm. I guess that does the trick too. A Spire would have given him like 6 mutas, then 7, then 8. Like very slow build up and not enough of a surprise.
Well,
Stalker's gonna die. No,
it's
Harstem's
Harstem's
so
last couple
careful.
units.
There's not even enough Queens to take on the Banshees. The Stalker would need to come in the Nidus Worm.
Unfortunately, if you share control, you do not get to use Nidus Worms. That only works in co-op.
There goes the Stalker anyways. The second Queen finally pops out, and the first one has to transfuse, so that will be enough to push this off, and, well, the Nidus Worm was scouted.
Just having used the energy is already a lot of damage done to the attack that's possibly coming. You can't save the Nidus Worm once it pops out. You can't keep those roaches alive. And where does the Nidus Worm go down? Okay, in the main base of PracticeX, but there's already tanks in a pretty good position for this.
They're kind of in an okay position.
Actually, if you would just like build another barracks right there, lock this out, lock this in. I don't know why are you bringing these so close?
That seems weird.
Yeah.
What? Okay, and it's gonna, I mean, no matter what, it's gonna work. It just wasn't enough for a laser, but questionable.
Yeah, there's the Banshee too. All right, we're gonna see the pros take a dive here, guys. And PracticeX and Larry with some very map-specific shenanigans tie up the series 1-1. I love it. I just love the agility. We saw that coming, going like, oh no. I mean, like I'd seen it before. I had referenced it earlier in the cast. Like, it happens on some of these maps. But, oh, Jesus, that was brutal. All right, that's going to send us a quick ad break, guys. About half an hour since our last one. So just 2 minutes of commercials, and we'll be back for Game 3 to decide who moves on to the winner's match and who falls to the losers. All right, folks, we're back, but you already hear the beeps going, and looks like my math was wrong earlier. We're actually at 2,300% of our daily goal. Wow, that's insane. That's ridiculous. Thank you, guys.
Cool.
I don't know where we'd be without...
Without viewers?
Without Diesel Max Power and the Dow 24. Gotcha. Also, Cot Life, sub for 8 months to say, Riff, I need you to get that fan out again. Spit my drink when I came on stream. Wow, that's rude. I'm gonna assume you make zero laughing, otherwise that's really mean. Also, thank you Shamalias for the 2 years. 2-part tubes? No, unfortunately not, but hey, 24 months, 24 months. Thank you very much, dude. All right, folks, it's tied up 1-1. We just watched the pros take a harsh defeat. In the top right, we got the combination of Elazer from Clash and Harstem from Asterion Gaming.
Elazer might be getting revenge. In the bottom left, as the yellow Protoss, it is Larry and his teammates PracticeX.
Yeah, this might get scouted though. Larry, oh, you're going to the Protoss base. Feels bad, man. Of course, we are... Oh, wait, no, it's not a cannon, so it's just taking a funny path.
It is a cannon.
What?
That's his forge.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, excuse me. I was looking at the wrong production tab thing.
Yeah, I don't blame you, but I figured that's what you mistook it for. And I was...
Oh, this isn't in view. Oh, this is so dirty.
Wait, no, it has to be with the gas guys.
Ah,
okay.
when it finished, okay, while I was building, it wasn't in view.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
it finished, it was. He tries to block it in. Oh, but that probe block was actually really important, but he still locks it in. One probe doesn't have the DPS to kill this. Oh, man. These are some straight up Shiesel tactics.
But Elazer went for such fast roaches. He didn't go for an early pool to send out lings. He went for roaches that this might be okay to clean up as long as there aren't an absurd amount of cannons.
Yeah, Corsair Battles can actually take out cannons with relative ease, so this might not be as bad for Harstem this time around, but he cancels the Cyber Core. Maybe
It
already
sucks
thinking about...
so much, and this Larry made it on purpose because Harstem's production would be down here. If it was on the north side, you have so much more time to buy. Oh well.
Well, I like that he canceled the Cyber Core in favor of getting an Exos up. He accepts that he may just lose this space, and that's unfortunate, but something he's just gonna have to give up.
Yeah. He's not even using his gateway to reduce even his zealot, so he's either depending on Elazer to come save him, or depending on Elazer to go do equal damage. But it's really difficult to say that 3 hours is gonna ever do equal damage because SCV pools, pro pools are effective against that low of a number.
So
or walls are effective too.
Apparently, if you guys fight Harstem 1v1 on the ladder, consider cannon rushing him. So this is some key different though. Elazer is going to go for the counter. Larry did wall off, but it's not going to stop Ravagers. But it will buy him a little bit of time, or more importantly, maybe it will buy PracticeX time. PracticeX is well prepared for this. Unfortunately, though, Larry is not. And Larry, if he's the one attacked, is just going to die. But, oh, Lasers going for the Terran.
He's not getting a Cyclone. This is a little greedy at PracticeX. I think he's trying to go for a tank or even to swap off on the starport. A Cyclone would take care of everything. Okay, so the Ravagers, they really have a chance to kill an entire base like Larry just did to Harstem.
I don't know, but
no.
Harstem's actually not in the worst spot. He actually kept so many probes alive that he's mining off that Nexus with actually pretty good economy.
Yeah, and his gateway wasn't targeted at all, so it's still alive. It managed to get out 2 stalkers. The bunkers go down. Oh, the supply block stopped the Cyclone from building.
Oh, he didn't transfer the starport either. The Ravager could just sit underneath it. No Banshee will ever come out of that. If done correctly, at least. And it's not 1v2 like last time. Harstem actually has such a good expansion going for him right now. Elazer doesn't notice the transfer, so he's not quite there to stop it. Banshee might still come out.
Even then, afford it.
Yeah, even then, yeah, I was gonna say, even if you could afford it, it might not matter though. This is so much, and Larry has so little.
He canceled a 75% done Cyclone to build a Banshee. I don't know.
Ooh, that Banshee's not coming out. That Banshee's not coming out. There's too much damage.
Yeah, besides, I mean, like, the SCV pool with a Cyclone would have killed at least a decent number of units here, and maybe there's a recovery. But, I guess either way, it looks like Praxis was going to be killed. Okay.
I was like, where's Larry? He's not doing anything. Oh, the GG spam on the ramp. I love this. Anyways, Larry could maybe recall the Immortal, but even then, 2 Stalkers and Immortal is not going to take on what Elazer has. Elazer has too much.
Yeah, and it's not just 3 Ravagers, right? It's like roaches have been coming one at a time across the map, so that a pro pool is not effective anymore. They would simply lose all of their economy. But PracticeX was left alone after his starport died, which could be a mistake. I mean, it is still so few units that there's not really... You're not attacking both sides at once.
More sprays coming down. No recall out of Larry. He's actually just going to expand on the other side of the field. But I think the problem with this is he doesn't know Harstem's mining from the back of this base. This would have, prior to now, been okay. But unfortunately, Harstem actually has really good recovery, and he's going to have stalkers coming out.
I want to really say, how does he not know? But yeah, there's such a wonky situation. Elazer could eventually give him minerals.
This is so stupid.
Well, War Prism is huge. This Immortal really is going to last for a long time. One stalker, both stalkers.
It should. He could actually go over to Harstem's base now because Harstem doesn't have defense, just shield battery. But looks like PracticeX has been got. Larry,
again.
This isn't gonna work. This is cool. I really applaud the effort of these two. And this was downright dirty, but Harstem handled this 10 times better than he did last game. Elazer absolutely punished both the players for doing this. This was a valiant effort out of Larry for sure.
I really wish PracticeX had gone for a Cyclone immediately and then pulled the probes, because that would have done damage to him. That would have really nipped it in the bud, you know? Like, the Stalker wouldn't accompany 2 other Roaches, which then would have been him maybe holding till the Banshee, or like, it would have been so different if PracticeX could have held Elazer's Ravager push. But now it is really game over. Elazer and Harstem have done it.
I still can't believe Harstem is the most workers out of everybody here, and it took until just now for the other team to realize it. Also, Banshee did finally get pumped out. That's another thing I just don't believe is happening in this game, but one Banshee will not win this. There's plenty of time to get Spores and Queens, and there's already a lot of Stalkers. I mean... Maybe
Larry hopes his base will win it for them? I mean, it is 1-to-1. Larry is like officially 2v1ing, but with his opponents both on one base, he thinks he has a chance.
This is so dumb. I love it.
Yeah,
this is the 2v2 I want to see more of. It's scrappy, it's disgusting.
This is weird. The Cyber Export lived. It didn't even cancel Warp Gate, which he probably should get the 50-50 back. Oh, nope. That's not helpful.
You know what's funny? Harstem doesn't know about Larry's base. We're talking about Larry not knowing about Harstem's for so long, and now the irony is Harstem has no idea that there's a base mining right below him. He could walk right past these cannons and just go kill the Nexus.
Yes, he could. The Immortal is not going to win out in the Micro War here. You tap it once and leave, wait for the shield to go away, and then the Stalkers will absolutely win that fight. It's not going to grab the Cyber X for either before Warp Gate's done. Not the biggest deal, but still very nice for Harstem.
This Banshee has killed most of Elazer's units. Elazer not.
I would hope... I want that Banshee to help the Immortals with Cloak rather than kill the Ravagers.
It doesn't have Cloak, though, is the problem.
Oh, you're right. I don't know what I thought was Cloaked. I guess I saw the Immortal Barrier and got derped, but yeah, there's an Observer anyways.
There we go. The Immortals get caught. Nice force fields out of Harstem. Banshee wraps around, trying to go for some probes, but the shield battery will actually keep this from getting kills.
By a lot of time.
Banshee's gonna be suffering from blue balls. I'm just kind of like, what's Elazer really doing behind this, by the way? He's just droning, and that was pretty much it, I guess. Droning and spraying.
Yeah.
Alright, GG. What a series. What a finish to the series, too. But that, of course, will now determine losers and winners match. We're going to do the elimination series first, as we do classically on BaseTradeTV. So we're going to see more Larry and PracticeX in a moment against Optimus and Euthermal. Maybe their shenanigans can work out against these guys as well. Who's to say? I honestly don't know. Either way, thank you everybody for tuning in today. I guess all the codes have been used up, supposedly. So if you were already on the contribution for that, thank you guys so much. Keep in mind, any additional money will help bump up everybody's pay for the tournament. So if you got a couple bucks rattling around, give it a consideration. Otherwise, just stay tuned, enjoy the show, and we'll be back in a couple minutes. Thank you for watching.